Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. So we'll begin.
Recording in progress.
Yes, Maharaj.
Om Jnanatimmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhupaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Is it okay? Can you see it? Let me see. Oh, Krishna. Where are we? Where's my PowerPoint? Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, we did that in previous lesson. You saw this. And then we went on to Divine and Demoniac Nature, chapter 16. Right? So connection between chapters 14, 15, and 16. Remember chapter 14? It was entitled The Three Modes of Material Nature. Right? So the three modes, you can see Sattva, and then Rajas and Tamas on the bottom. And then chapter 15, we spoke about the banyan tree. Right? The banyan tree. Udvamula madasakam. Right? The root is up and the branches down. So lower branches. In the lower branches, that's tamas, rajas and tamas, the mode of ignorance and passion. And the upper branches is the mode of goodness. So, humans and animals and so on, we're all in the lower branches. And the upper branches is where the people from the higher planets, like the demigods, live. Right? And then we went on to chapter 16. We're speaking about the divine and the demoniac nature. Oh, wait. Let me get rid of this from the screen. Just a minute. Okay. Are you able to see the PowerPoint okay?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, so chapter 16, the divine and the demoniac natures. Do you remember we spoke about the two natures? There's only two natures, there's nothing in between. You're either divine or you're demoniac. Daivi Sampat and Asuric Sampat. Right? There's nothing in between. People say, I don't want to be a demon. And they don't like to be demon, but they say, I'm not godly. But then, well, if you're not godly, then you must be demon. Nothing that we have that problem. Okay, so we spoke about this thing. We spoke about the two natures, divine nature and demoniac nature. And we described different qualities which are divine and different qualities which are demoniac. Do you remember?
Yes,
Who can remember? What are some of the demoniac qualities? Yeah? Do you remember? Look at your book, chapter 16. I think text number 4, is it? Or 3?
Maharaj, pride, arrogance, harshness, and there was a one word start from C. I don't remember, but
Pride, arrogance, harshness.
yeah,
Yes.
And ignorance.
Ignorance. Okay, good. Is that all from your memory?
Yes, there is one word I'm forgetting, like what we call. There was something like I think conceit we have got. Yes, conceit and anger also. Anger. These were the qualities.
What was it? What?
Conceit, anger, harshness.
Oh, conceit. Oh, yeah, conceit and anger. Okay. So these are the demoniac qualities. Say them again. Pride, anger, harshness, conceit, arrogance. And one more?
Ignorance.
Ignorance. Okay. And how many divine qualities were there?
26.
26, right. And we spoke some qualities are for depending on which particular varna or ashram you're in. There'll be different qualities. Just like if you're a sannyasi, what qualities they should have? Of course, you're a woman, you wouldn't think about sannyasi qualities, but it's mentioned in the purport. Prabhupada talked about it quite a bit.
Maharaj, renunciation, cleanliness.
Well, yeah, they're general, but there's specific qualities which are those are qualities which relate to all the ashrams. But there's one particular one for sannyasi. It's fearlessness.
Yeah.
Right, fearlessness. They should be fearless. Like like Prabhupada going to America with no money. Fearlessness. Not worried. So that's a very important quality. Another quality for sannyasi, they should have knowledge. They should have a good knowledge of the philosophy. Right? What about qualities for grihastha?
Charity and sacrifice.
Okay, very good. Yes. For grihastha. And what about vanaprastha?
Austerity, Maharaj.
Yes, right. Austerity. They should do some austerity. Good. You've learned nicely. Okay. So these are different qualities which were mentioned. We'll go ahead. Right? Two natures, Devi, Sampat. The first 3 verses describe the divine qualities. And then from verse 4, we hear more about the Asura. Devi Sampat, Asuric Sampat. Divine, demoniac qualities. So Devi Sampat. Here's all the qualities you can see. 26 qualities. See, many of these qualities are for everyone. Like modesty and forgiveness, cleanliness. They're there for everyone. And compassion, aversion to fault finding. Householders are supposed to be also self-control. That's also an important quality for grihastha. Self-control, as well as charity. And for the brahmachari, what's the qualities? What two qualities are there?
Cultivation of knowledge.
Yes. And?
Vedic study.
Yeah, Vedic study, right. Good. So these are for the brahmachari. Right? So you can see many different qualities we want to cultivate. And just by doing devotional service, we should cultivate these kind of qualities. It's important just by hearing regularly, reading Bhagavad Gita, reciting these things, then we become more conscious about these qualities. Steady determination, vigor, modesty, forgiveness, all these qualities, very important for us. To try to count gentleness. Gentleness is especially for a brahmana, learned and gentle brahmana. But all devotees, generally, we should be gentle. Okay, so Devi Sampad and now Asuric Sampad. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, O son of Prita. So, pride. Some people are very proud, they don't like to bow down. Some people are very arrogant, they speak about themselves and they have a lot of conceit. They're very confident about their own self and they get angry very easily. They speak very harshly to others and they can be ignorant also. They don't have proper knowledge. So these are the demoniac qualities. And then later on, Krishna mentions 3 gates to hell: lust, anger, and greed. Right? 3 gates to hell. Every sane person should avoid these 3 things. Usually, lust comes first. You see, it's lust. Lust is the older brother. Anger is the younger brother. Anger comes after lust. While contemplating the objects of the senses, Krishna said in 2nd chapter, or 3rd chapter, 2nd chapter, while contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them. Then from attachment, lust develops. And from lust comes anger. Right? People are lusty. They want something. You know, it's not only just, I want that girl or I want that boy. It's not just that kind of lust, but it's I want that car, I want that job, I want that house, I want that dress. You know, that kind of lust, just to enjoy material things. And if we get it, then we want more. We become greedy for more. And when we don't get it, we become angry. We didn't get what we wanted. So lust is usually the first thing, and then anger or greed comes. And that's it. I said anger is the younger brother of lust. And so, sometimes people have trouble controlling their anger. They get very angry. Especially young ladies, they can get very angry sometimes if they don't get what they want. So that anger comes because of lust, because of the material desire which is in the heart. And that lust and anger, these are symptoms of the mode of passion and ignorance, right? Lust is the mode of passion. And from lust comes anger, which is the mode of ignorance. So you go down. So we have to be very careful. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, every sane person would want to avoid these three things. You don't want to be lusty or angry or greedy. Now the other day, a young lady asked me, she said, sometimes I just can't control it. I get so angry sometimes. So she asked me what to do. So I told her, I said, well, what you need to do, I said, you need to grab your bead bag. When you become angry, you need to grab your bead bag and go out. Get out of the house or wherever you are. Just get out of that place and go for a long walk until you calm down. Because that kind of anger is not going to do you any good. And people see you're angry, give them a very bad impression about you. There was one young lady, they were making an arrangement for her to get married to this one man. And she was saying, well, I want an engagement. Well, she said, yeah, we can get engaged. And 6 months later, after that, we can get married. And they said, the man said, they were saying, no, we don't need to have an engagement. We'll just get married. He said, no, I want to be engaged first. And then they said, no, you don't need to waste that. We don't need to spend time engaged. And then she got angry, and because of her anger, she upset the man, and the man got put off her. He saw her angry side. He didn't want to marry her anymore. And that was the end of their relationship. So that kind of thing happens. You have to be very careful. So I told her, I said, yes, you have to control your anger. Krishna is teaching you to control your anger. I said, nobody wants to live with such an angry person. So anger is demoniac quality, is taking you into hell. You do terrible things, you say terrible things, you behave in bad ways, give people a very bad impression. So we have to be very careful. As devotees, we have to control our anger. It comes down to lust. We have to be very careful about the mode of passion. And that's why coming to the mode of goodness is so important. Come up to the mode of goodness, and then from the mode of goodness we can go on to pure goodness. Are there any questions on this? How many people are there? How many people are there tonight?
Maharaj, 13.
13?
Yes.
Oh, very less.
Yeah, Maharaj, because there is a function here in Pakistan, the traditional function, especially for some of the students. So they went to the village, and there is no network connection, and the time is also the same nearly. So that's why they couldn't attend today. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's.
So are you recording the lecture?
Yes, Maharaj.
So will night tomorrow?
Hope so, Maharaj. I hope so.
and maybe not, huh?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, I'm really very sorry for this, Maharaj, but maybe on Wednesday or maybe on the next week, but I'm not sure.
You could have told me, I could have put off the class, We could have just cancelled the class and had it next week. What do you think?
Bimla Prashad Prabhu? I think.
Yeah, madam, I'm listening. I'm also thinking about it. What if we, because I'm not aware of his schedule, what if we reschedule the class, say Thursday, Friday. Krishna Pramaji, what do you think?
So when?
Same week, Thursday, Friday, instead of having tomorrow, day after tomorrow.
No, but I'm not free.
You must be having a different schedule, right?
Yeah, I've got things to do Friday night. I'm busy.
So, then
we'll just continue.
Yeah, for now we can continue, but maybe next week, like we can have the same. Maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we can cancel, and next week we go on as planned. And
okay, yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Yeah,
I think that is possible, Maharaj. That's still possible, and if you wish to continue the classes in subsequent weeks, that can also be arranged. If like next 3 days, like for the next week we have class till Monday to Wednesday, that means 3 lessons. So if you require more time, we can have subsequent weeks also. We have that time as part of our schedule.
So what are you saying? We will cancel tomorrow and the next day?
Yeah, then from the next week we can continue.
Yeah, we can do.
Since we can have.
We can do. Yeah, let's do that. We'll cancel tomorrow.
Yeah, because that is part of our if you see the schedule, Maharaj, which I sent you, so we have classes. We can continue. Even if we sacrifice these 2, we will be having time.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
I will highly apologize, Maharaj, because even I didn't gather that. It's only on Friday when they sent me the messages that we will be going in the weekend. They have this Maharaj, this traditional, traditional Mela kind of thing, and both their parents also drag their children over there, and children also run there for having some fun. So it's just that's a social thing they have.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. Yeah. Okay,
this culture is not there in India anymore, but like in Pakistan, they still have that culture. I'm sorry, Maharaj, very sorry for that.
Well, if they told me ahead of time, we could have arranged. We could have cancelled tonight.
Yeah, it's all my fault, Maharaj. I didn't thought the thing through. I'm sorry, Maharaj. I really apologize, but we can do that tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, they can have an off, and then yes, we will message that. We will communicate that.
Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead here. So we're talking about this 3 gates to hell. I was asking if there's any question. Did somebody have a question?
Hare Krishna.
I had a question.
I want to ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Maharaji.
Okay. Maharaj, I want to say that I think every person have the both kind of nature, like Devim and the Asura. So how can we say that there is no in between? Because as we say that these qualities, I have seen persons who are very arrogant, very who have very pride and harshness, but in spite of that they do charity and all other good things also. So I am also saying for myself that anger, as I say, anger. So sometimes I also can't control my anger with my children, or sometimes with my husband also. So how can we say that there is no in between?
Well, yeah, you're saying there's in between, but the fact is sometimes you control your anger, sometimes you don't. You get angry, right? And that anger itself can be the mode of passion. And so the demoniac side of us comes out. Yeah, we do display both sides. You have some good qualities, we have some bad qualities. Sometimes we're good and sometimes we're not. But you can't say there's no in between. Yeah, of course, Now you're a good person. You're hearing Bhagavad Gita, and we're talking about these things. But sometimes, we're not able to control the mind and senses, and we get disturbed in something, especially, family situations with children and husbands and like that. Definitely, there can be sometimes some things which upset us, and we get angry and so on. But we have to learn to control that. We can, I'm saying, I told the lady, I said, you have to take hold of your bead bag and go out for a walk and calm down, just to get over it. And we have to recognize, where is this anger coming from? That it's actually coming from the lust, from that desire to enjoy, the desire to control, that we want something done our way. And when it doesn't happen our way, we can get very upset about it. So it definitely creates problems. And these kind of situations bring out sometimes the anarthas, the bad things which are in us. And we have to be more conscious of them and try to get rid of them. You see, this is what Krishna consciousness is all about. Coming out of the passion and ignorance and coming up to that mode of goodness and then going on to pure goodness. Now, when you come to pure goodness, there's no influence of passion and ignorance. It doesn't happen. Sometimes you may get angry, but you can control it. That is the difference. You see, anger can be used just like Arjuna and Hanuman. They could use anger on behalf of the Lord, to serve the Lord, to fight the battle of Lanka, to fight at Kurukshetra. But they could control their anger. And similarly, it happened also with Arjuna. Arjuna, one time, he got very upset. Yudhishthira told him to put down his bow, and he said he had made a vow to kill anybody who told him to put down his bow. So Yudhishthira cursed, he cursed Arjuna, cursed Yudhishthira, and then he offered obeisances to him after that. He could control the anger. He showed some anger, but he could control it, and he offered his obeisances afterwards. So, sometimes when we get angry, that's what you have to do. You have to offer obeisances also. You have to say, excuse me, I'm sorry I got angry, but I felt it was my duty to get angry at you this particular time. You have to show that you have control over the anger. It shouldn't just be a mad display of passion, that you scream and shout and throw things and say nasty words and, whatever. It has to be controlled, a little bit anger sometimes, just like sometimes as a mother, you have to be a little angry sometimes with your child in order to discipline the child and make sure the child will do what you want. So but that anger is controlled. You don't go mad and start beating the child, You control yourself, right? So that's important. Yeah, we have to understand the need to control our mind and senses. And speaking in a manner which is, instructive, and it should be pleasing. It shouldn't be nasty words and filthy language and things like this. Sometimes when people get angry, they say terrible things, and they can hurt each other by the words they say and the things they say. Like I said, this one young woman, she was going to be arranged to this one man for marriage, but she got so angry, she hurt the man. And the man just didn't want to have anything to do with the girl. He just said, oh, no way. I don't want to have a wife like this who gets so angry. And so she felt very regretful also that she'd got angry. and she lost the chance of a marriage. Anyway, it's important for us to realize the need to control the mind and the senses and the tongue. And anger is definitely something, it's a big problem. There's a lot of, we have on the internet, there's actually a website, anger management, how to deal with anger. That we definitely do want to avoid it and make sure we're not a victim of the anger and controlled by the anger. And like I say, it's good to regret it and feel and offer apologies to people. If somehow you do get angry or something, then apologize to them, and you can even bow down to them and apologize. As devotees, we often do that, that we come and offer our respectful obeisances to the devotee to apologize for something. Please forgive me, I lost control. I have to be more careful and control my mind and senses, and I should be more careful how I speak and what I say. So it's a challenge. It's not easy.
Yes. Thank you so much.
And thank you for that question. It's very important. Yeah, any other questions there? Okay, so we'll go on to the slideshow. Oh, what happened? Where's my slideshow? Can you see it? Are you able to see the slideshow?
Yes, Maharaj.
Oh, good. Right, okay, so then at the beginning of the purport also Prabhupada speaks about this abhijatasya. Abhijatasya. The word abhijatasya in reference to one born of transcendental qualities or godly tendencies is very significant. To beget a child in a godly atmosphere is known in Vedic scriptures as Garbhadan Samskar. If the parents want a child in the godly qualities, they should follow the 10 principles recommended for the social life of the human being. So Prabhupada described about his own life, how he was born in a devotee family. And because he was born in a devotee family, he, his whole life he never took tea, and he was brought up seeing the deities, and as a child he learned to play mridanga and harmonium. And he said everything he learned from his guru, he'd already learned from his father. Only one thing he learned from his guru, which his father didn't teach him, and that was printing books and publishing books. But everything else, bhajan, worshipping the deities, vegetarian and everything, all that was all there from his childhood, his whole life. And he said his Guru Maharaj, Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati, he was also like that. Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati, of course, was the seminal son of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who was the great Acharya, who pioneered Krishna consciousness in the modern age. So Prabhupada is describing here how generally devotees, they'll be born in a devotee family. And couples who want to have a godly child, they can do it by doing Garbhadan Samskars. Garbhadan Samskar. Jayapataka Swami would always encourage his disciples that you should do Garbhadan Samskar, and then you have very good children, quality children. Children who can grow up nicely in Krishna consciousness. So Arjuna was worried that maybe he's not a good devotee because he's going to fight and he's going to kill people and he's going to do harm to people in the battle. So Arjuna was worried that maybe he's a demon. But Krishna tells Arjuna, actually, no, you're not a demon, you're also a devotee. Because Arjuna's a devotee because he's fighting, but he's not overwhelmed by passion and anger. He's reflecting on the situation, and he was asking Lord Krishna, is it right that I'm going to fight? Am I doing the right thing? Should I be fighting or not? Maybe it's not very good. Maybe I'm just a demon. Maybe this is a demoniac quality in me because of my pride that I want a kingdom, so I'm fighting. But Krishna tells Arjuna, he said, no, actually you're the devotee. Because you're thinking very carefully, you're not acting rashly, you're controlling your mind. And yeah, you have to fight. It's your duty. Okay, so the birth is important. It certainly helps a child to progress in their good life. From the purport of verse number 4, Prabhupada writes, these demoniac qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies in the womb of their mothers. And as they grow, they manifest all these inauspicious qualities. Right? Inauspicious. They're not devotees. They're born in the bodies of materialistic people. Like Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, they were not very devotional people. And they had 100 sons who were also not very devoted. They fought against the Pandavas. So, like that, there's devotees and there are the demons. And the demons generally, they won't worship Vishnu, they won't worship Krishna, they will worship some lower devas, the demigods. But the devotees, they are the worshippers of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu or Krishna. And the devotees are faithful to scripture. But the demons, they don't give importance to scripture. Alright? So Arjuna was worried, but Krishna said, no, do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. Ma sucha sampadat daivim abhijato si pandavaha. Verse number, what is it, 5, yeah? Okay, so his involvement in the fight was not demoniac because he was considering the pros and cons, not acting under the influence of anger, false prestige, or harshness. Right? He was thoughtful about it. He was hesitant about going into battle. He was thinking, is it right? And he had so many doubts that he put to Krishna. He was worried about sinful reactions, and he was worried that maybe I'm creating Varna Sankara will be more, there'll be unwanted children. And he was worried about I won't enjoy the kingdom because I kill everyone. And he was worried also about killing people, that he thought I should offer respect to people like Bhishma and Drona. They're my seniors, they're worthy of my worship, and I have to fight them. Maybe I even now have to kill them. It's not good. So Arjuna had his doubts, but he took it to Krishna, and Lord Krishna guided him. So Arjuna was not under the influence of anger, false prestige, or harshness. Srila Prabhupada explains, Lokes mean Daiva Asura Evacha. In this world, there are two kinds of created beings. One is called the divine, and the other demoniac. So when we say demoniac, we don't mean you're a Kamsa, or a Jarasandha, or a Putana, or like that. They're very big demons. They're very special demons. Actually, they're special demons. Krishna arranges for them to be killed, or some Krishna kills himself, so he could take them to the spiritual world. So they were special demons. But we do display the demoniac qualities. Sometimes we display godly qualities, and other times we display the qualities which are of a lower nature. So we want to be conscious of that. Prabhupada continues, so they do not like people in divine nature. They will tolerate all kinds of noise, barking of the dogs, the motor car passing, the airplane overhead. But as soon as there is kirtan, they are disturbed. They will tolerate so many different types of noise, but they will not tolerate kirtan. So Srila Prabhupada had experience like this in New York. When he went to America, he was living there in New York, and he was living in one building. He was upstairs in one building, and people were above, and people were on the same floor, and people were below, all around. There were non-devotees living. This was at 26 2nd Avenue, where Prabhupada was living. So, whenever Prabhupada would have a little kirtan, then the people would complain, and they would knock down, be quiet, why so much noise, why are you disturbing? And Prabhupada said, outside there's so much disturbance. Our disturbance is only gentle kirtan. But they will complain about our kirtan. They won't complain about all the other things, the barking dogs, the motor cars, the airplanes, all kinds of noise, big trucks and garbage trucks and so many things. But kirtan, so much trouble. Why you people make so much noise? And they did not tolerate kirtan. So Prabhupada goes on, he said, in the morning at 7 o'clock, we used to hold our class, and there was little sound. Immediately the tenants from upwards, they'll come down and complain. Sometimes they will call for the police. And on the street, 2nd Avenue, there is always big trucks and motor cars going on, heavy sound. Then in your country, the garbage carrier sound, the digging sound, so many sounds they'll tolerate. And as soon Hare Krishna, it's intolerable. This is demoniac. Right? Prabhupada said, this is what happened when Prabhupada was there in America. He had that problem with people. They could not tolerate a little noise. So, that is the demonic nature, you see. So, just to show you the structure, the overview of the 16th chapter, we have transcendental and demoniac qualities in the first 6 verses are there. The first 6 verses, transcendental and demoniac qualities. And then we have the demoniac nature. That's the main part of the chapter. Verses 7 up to 18, Lord Krishna is describing the different mentalities of the demons. One of the verses is quite well known. Krishna says, he's saying, how does it go? I'll have to look at the Bhagavad Gita for a minute. Anyway, just a minute. We'll go on first. There's a demoniac nature, Devi Sampat. Lord Krishna describes the demoniac nature. Ishwaraham, aham bogi, siddhoham, balavam sukhi. It's very simple. Ishwaraham, I am the controller. Aham bogi, I am the enjoyer. Ishwaraham, aham bogi, siddhoham. I'm powerful. I have all powers. Balavam, I'm strong, and Sukhi, I am happy. So this is the demoniac nature. We're thinking like that. That I have all these qualities. Very typical demoniac nature. And then 19 to 24 describes the results of demoniac activities. And the demons, they won't follow scriptures. You see, they don't want to follow any scriptures. Just like Bhagavad Gita says, we should eat food which is offered in sacrifice. But those who are demons, they won't follow, they won't agree to be vegetarian. They want to eat meat, fish, and eggs. They want their onion and garlic. They don't want to follow any principles. They'll eat all kinds of garbage. And they will say, this is their food. So this is the demon. And the results of that kind of activity is they have to take birth in the lower species of life. They will take birth again and again in lower species of life. Lord Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita that if you don't follow scripture, then you cannot get peace, you cannot get happiness, you cannot achieve the supreme destination. Right? Actually, we had some group exercise which devotees were supposed to do. We don't have newspapers nowadays, but everything is there on the internet. And everybody has a mobile phone, and you could just simply go to your mobile phone, go to some of the different websites, the different news sites, and find examples of some of these different things. Devi Sampat, Asurik Sampat, and Ugra Karmanaha. Ugra Karmanaha. We didn't explain, I didn't talk about that yet, but Ugra Karmanaha means horrible work meant to destroy the world. And Prabhupada gives some examples about Ugra Karmana. Can you think, do you know what were some of the examples Prabhupada gives about Ugra Karma? He talks about yes?
The World War, Maharaj.
Sorry, what was that?
The World War?
World War, yes, but particularly nuclear weapons, right?
Yeah.
Nuclear weapons, different countries nowadays, they all want to have nuclear weapons. And they'll spend a lot of time and a lot of money developing, making nuclear weapons. And then, at any time they may use them in their war. So that's very terrible. Another example of Ugra Karma is, they have these, nowadays they have nuclear power stations. And from the nuclear power stations, they get nuclear waste, very radioactive materials, which is the waste from the power station. and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it because it's very dangerous to the whole world. So what they do with it, they put it in the bottom of the sea. And they put it in the bottom of the sea, and they said, oh, in the future people can take care of it. They're not able to take care of it themselves. So they put it in the bottom of the sea and leave it for others to take care of. That's another example, Ugra Karmana. And then in Bhagavatam, Prabhupada gives other examples about Ugra Karma. He says things like slaughterhouses, where they kill the animals, Ugra Karmana. And then breweries and liquor shops, liquor manufacturing, alcohol, and these kind of things is all in the category of Ugra Karmana. And you can find a lot of that kind of stuff in the newspapers. Generally in the news, it's all horrible things. You get a lot of the qualities of the demons and this Ugra Karma. You get very less Devi Sampat. very, very little news about Devi Sampat, but there's a lot of stuff about it, about Asuric Sampat. So it's a nice exercise to do, and it's very interesting actually. A few years ago when we used to do that, I used to bring some newspapers from Calcutta. I would bring some newspapers into the class, and the devotees would go through the newspaper and cut out different things to show us what's in the newspaper and examples of what is godly and what's divine and what's really horrible. So that's one thing which you can also be doing in the course of the next week. You can think about that. Try to find some examples from when you're surfing the internet, or when you're rolling your handphone through different sites. Pick out some Devi Sampat, if there are any, and definitely I'm sure there's a lot of Asuric Sampat and Ugra Karmana, and keep them, and it will be nice to show in the class next time. We need to hear about these things. Actually, newspapers are full. So a result of Asuric Sampat, Danyaham Dvishata Kruran Samsarishu Naradamaha Shipamya Jasram Ashubam Asurish Vaiva Yonishu. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Right? This is what Krishna says himself. Those who are envious and Naradama, the lowest of men, I put them into the ocean. Here you can see demoniac species of life. Nice looking creatures, Krishna. Big crocodile or alligator, whatever it is. There's a shark here. Nasty, nasty dogs. Oh, Krishna. Don't know what this guy is. Oh, but these kind of bodies, people, these are living entities. These are spirit souls in these bodies. And Lord Krishna puts these souls into these bodies perpetually, into different demoniac species of life, because they deserve it. This is what they want. They want this kind of body. So definitely people have to be made aware of the results of cultivating this kind of mentality. what happens to them. Okay. From Prabhupada's purport of verse number 19 in this chapter 16. Therefore, in the material existence, we find so many species of life, animals, insects, men, and so on. All are arranged by the superior power. They are not accidental. As for the demoniac, it is clearly said here that they are perpetually put into the wombs of demons, and thus they continue to be envious, the lowest of mankind. Oh, Krishna. Terrible, huh? This is the results. And then 3 gates to hell. Trividam narakasyaidam dwaram nashanam atmanaha kama krodas tatalobas tasmat etat trayam tyajit. 3 gates leading to hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. Yeah, so we need to be conscious of these things. Working. Of course, the gopis used lust in the service of Krishna. The gopis were lusty for Krishna. And it was pleasing to Krishna. Krishna got pleasure from seeing the gopis. And Arjuna and Hanuman used their anger. Greed. Who used greed for Krishna's service? Can you think of an example? Well, we can use greed. We can be greedy for Krishna's service. We can be greedy to get service to Krishna. That's very nice. Some devotees are greedy for service. Narada Muni, he likes to serve. He's always traveling everywhere. He was greedy to bring Krishna, to accelerate Lord Krishna's appearance in the earth planet. He would go around and encourage Kamsa to do more atrocities, to accelerate the appearance of Lord Krishna in the world. So it's a type of greed, to bring Krishna here. So the devotees, they would use these things for Krishna's pleasure, for Krishna's service. But if we're not the master, without being the master, we shouldn't try to use these things. It won't be good, it won't help us. So lust, anger, and greed. We have to raise at least to the mode of goodness. And you can see a nice devotee there, how he's coming to the mode of goodness. He's dressed in the Vaishnava attire, he's got shaved head and sikha, and he's worshipping the deity. So deity worship is very purifying. To help us come to the mode of good, to do deity worship properly, we should be in the mode of goodness. Of course, some people do the deity worship, they're not in the mode of goodness. They come late for the offering, they come dirty, they don't have proper dress on, and they're coming and they're doing deity worship. But in our Krishna consciousness movement, at least, you can see devotees on the altar. They're very, very strict. They have very nice clean cloth on, and they don't even wear any sewn cloth. They just wrap the cloth around the bodies, no sewn cloth, and they have shaved heads, and the tilak and everything. we keep a high standard of deity worship, and the pujaris have to be very particular about their dress and their attire to show the proper mood in worshipping the deities. In the purport of 24, verse 24 of chapter 16, Prabhupada says, one has to raise himself at least to the mode of goodness before the path to understanding the Supreme Lord can be opened. Without raising oneself to the standard of the mode of goodness, one remains in ignorance and passion, which are the cause of demoniac life. So, one may be in the mode of passion and ignorance. It's very difficult to come up to pure goodness. So first you have to come up to the level of goodness, and then go on to pure goodness. On the level of pure goodness, you don't fall back down to passion and ignorance. So it's not easy. We know we have bad habits, we have tendencies to do things which are not very proper, which are not very good for us, which show we're influenced by the modes. We have to conquer over these things. We have to get rid of the influence of passion and ignorance so that we can be properly situated in pure goodness. So coming up to the mode of goodness, this is Krishna conscious program. Worship the deity, eat prasadam, pure food offered to Krishna, and chanting the holy name, engaging in kirtan, studying scriptures. This will keep us in the mode of goodness. You do these things, if you do them regularly, will keep you in the mode of goodness. The more we watch television, and the more you watch Bollywood movies and different things like that, then the dangers will be there. The passion and ignorance is going to come. One devotee was telling me how in Chennai the temple is it's on the coast, it's near to the beach. So a lot of people are coming to the temple, especially on the weekends there. He said usually they go to the beach first, and then they go to the entertainment park. There's some entertainment park beside the beach. And then afterwards, then they come to the temple, and come to the temple, have darshan, and have prasadam. So, they're coming to temple, but they're mixing with the modes of nature. They're first they go and enjoy the passion and ignorance, and then they come to the temple. They finish in goodness. But of course, they come to temple, they bring a lot of passion and ignorance with them. You don't leave it behind. Here's Prabhupada quoting from, this is a quote from chapter 17, from the lecture on the first 3 verses given in Honolulu in 1974. Prabhupada said, without coming to the platform of sattva gun, nobody can advance in spiritual life. That is a fact. Just like nobody is allowed to enter the law college unless he is graduate. The restriction is there. What he will understand, law, he must be a graduate. So similarly, first of all, one has to come to the platform of sattva gun. Then spiritual knowledge begins. So, at least in India, they have that system that you want to go to law, study law, you must first of all be a university graduate. You should have graduated in something. Then you can be considered to take up studying law. So similarly, we want to worship Krishna. First we have to come to the platform of goodness, sattva gun. And then we can awaken spiritual knowledge. So very important for us to bring people up to the mode of goodness. Means to get rid of the passion and ignorance. The great enemies of the modern society. I was telling you, passion is such a fashionable word today. People think, oh, passion is so nice. They don't know that the result of passion is always suffering. There's always misery coming with passion. It's the nature of passion. Bhagavad Gita describes the results of different modes. The mode of goodness will bring happiness and knowledge. The mode of passion will bring suffering and misery. And the mode of ignorance will bring misery from all the time. So spiritual knowledge is important, but we have to be qualified. We have to come up to the mode of goodness. We have to leave behind all these nonsense activities. All right, so just what we covered in chapter 16, overview of chapter 16 and links with previous chapters, right? We explained about the connection, chapter 16, describing divine and demoniac nature, right? The divine nature is the mode of goodness, and the demoniac nature is the mode of passion and ignorance. And so that was already described in chapter 14, the modes of nature described also the same thing. Then chapter 15, also the banyan tree was also describing the modes of nature. Upper branches were the mode of goodness, and the lower branches, that was passion and ignorance. So chapter 16 continued divine qualities, the mode of goodness, and demoniac qualities, the modes of passion and ignorance. And then this word abhijatasya, how from birth people have certain qualities. So you want to have a good birth, you can get good souls, you can attract good souls to become your children. There's a process, a spiritual process, is called garbhadana samskar, to get quality children. You know, in West nowadays, it's all often varna sankara, unwanted progeny. People didn't want the child or something, or the mother wants a child so she can get a pension from the government, and she's not married, she doesn't have a husband, but she goes and gets a child, and then she goes to the government for the government to support her and her child. So this is demoniac kind of things. So abhijatasya, get good quality, like Arjuna. It's one of the Pandavas, you know. They have good qualities from birth. But people with the bad qualities, they're born with the bad qualities from birth. Try some children, you cannot get them to behave, you cannot get them to be quiet, to do japa, cannot get them to learn mantras, to do slokas. They don't have the good samskars. From birth, they don't have an attraction, they don't have an interest. And then the destination of those who develop the demoniac nature, they don't want to follow any shastra. So what happens to them? they enter into the lower species of life perpetually. Birth after birth, they will remain in the lower species of life, like animals like dogs and insects and, poisonous creatures. So like that, it's their karma that they want that kind of body because they're demoniac. They have a demoniac nature, so they get a demoniac body, which gives pain and suffering to others. Just like some dogs, the constant barking all the time, the whole night they'll be barking. And then you get poisonous creatures which are biting, and their business is to come, and like mosquitoes come and suck the blood. The scorpion will bite. The shark, flesh killers. This demoniac nature. The living entities who are demoniac, they take these kind of bodies birth after birth. And then we were talking about different examples of divine and demoniac nature from current world affairs. Maybe you can think of some examples of divine activities in the world and world affairs. Can you think some divine activity in current world affairs? Well, it could be like our food for life, distributing food to people, poor people. That's it's a divine activity, distributing prasadam, giving foodstuffs for people, unfortunate people. And sometimes, like maybe there's a disaster, we will go there and we'll give blankets, we'll try to help, try to do something. We had the incident just recently in Thailand. There was a flood. There was a big flood, and they'd never had a flood like that before. So the devotees went from Bangkok, and they arranged food distribution, and they cooked and distributed food to the people, and they gave literature, and they did Harinam also for them. So that's kind of divine activities, godly activities, trying to help, trying to do some good for other people. But you've got the demoniac nature. What's the demoniac nature? Producing things which will simply pollute everything. Different factories, they have so much, they produce so many, maybe chemicals, or even the fumes coming from the factory can be very bad. Here in India, the river Yamuna is very polluted because of all the factories putting terrible stuff. And you can see the Ganga also. The Ganga is also polluted. A lot of garbage, so many things are put there. So much garbage everywhere in India. People are not very conscious about where they throw their waste. And a lot of plastic is there, and the poor cows, the cows who are left in the street, they eat the food from the plastic. So this is demoniac. Very nasty. We destroy nature to build factories, or they have nice farmland, they use it to grow tobacco, to make cigarettes. Or they have a big factory, it's all for making beer or Coca-Cola. So that's demoniac. And then examples of ugra karma from current society. Ugra karma. Going to great extremes to build things. Nowadays they like to build things, and they build things underground. They have old cities underground. Now in Japan, so much is underground. Rather than be above ground, they like to be underground. In the USA as well, you have these shopping plazas and everything. It's all underground. Demoniac. They will build all these things under the ground. They want people to live under the ground. They don't just have 1 or 2 floors. They go down into the ground, 4 or 5 floors into the ground. They're constructing underground. You have to live underground. There's no air, proper air there. It's very unhealthy. But people are living in these situations. So, ugra karma. Then we're trying to harness material nature for our sense gratification. When we want rain, they release chemicals into the sky and they try to make rain on that way. But actually, to get rain, what we have to do is yagya. We have to do some sacrifice. We have to do Harinam Sankirtan. Then you can get good rain. From Bhagavad Gita, we know all living entities subsist on food grain, and grains are produced by sacrifice. A sacrifice is born of prescribed duty. So the real sacrifice in the Kali Yuga is Sankirtan. But scientists, they come up with different chemicals and things they want to put in the air to produce rain. And then people have to breathe the chemicals in the air. We cannot get proper water to drink. You have to buy water to drink. You have to buy water to drink. In the future, even we won't be able to get air. You have to purchase some can to breathe some air. It'll all be polluted, all be gone. So that's Ugra Karma. Ugra Karma, we knock down all the forests, we destroy all the rivers just to build some big industrial complex. So sometimes they build huge slaughterhouses to kill cows or to kill some poor animals. So Ugra Karma. And then bombs, building bombs. And then abortions. These are another Ugra Karma, killing children in the womb. Birth control, contraceptives, these things. This is all Ugra Karma. And some companies, even one devotee told me his relatives were working for United Nations. And I said, what do they do? He said, they're doing research on birth control. They're trying to come up with more sophisticated means of birth control. And so United Nations, they're spending money for birth control. Birth control is another demoniac thing. United Nations is supposed to do good things, but doing things like that. Birth control. So, Ugra Karma, there's so many things wrong in the world today. And we want to be aware of all these things. We can by seeing Shastra. It's all in the Shastra. So here's Prabhupada's quote from verses 2 to 7, a lecture given in Bombay, 1971. So these godly characteristics are there. Either you practice yourself to come to the godly characteristics, or there is a simple method. If you take to devotional service, all the godly qualities automatically come. This is the process. So in this age, to develop these godly qualities is very difficult. But if you take to Krishna consciousness by the simple method, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, then automatically you develop all the godly qualities. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Alright, so are there any questions from the devotees?
Hi Krishna Maharaj, I have one question.
Yes, Maharaj.
Maharaj, I want to I have a confusion in this, that Krishna says that those who are in the demonic nature or who are having the demonic qualities, they will never attain me. But if we see from the pastimes of Krishna, he's so compassionate even with the enemies who try to kill Krishna. We see Kamsa, we see Shishupal, we see many other. But in last class you also mentioned that so I see the slaughterhouse. If somebody is killing the animals, they are actually not helping them to just complete this step, but so that they can get a good life in the next lifetime. But those who are demonic, Krishna says they will be in the demonic nature, like they will get the demonic but life after lifetime. So how can we understand the compassionate or the merciful nature of Krishna through this? If they will, like Krishna says, they will never attain me. So this I want to understand. I hope I could ask a question clearly, Maharaj.
Yeah, it's true. Definitely. I mean, I often think about this myself. My understanding is that there's the mercy of the devotee. You see, more merciful than Krishna is the mercy of a devotee. If a devotee try, we try to give mercy to these people, but it's very difficult. Of course, they're so demoniac, they don't want to hear, they don't want anything. But still we try, just like Lord Nityananda, he could change Jaghai and Madhai. Of course, Jaghai and Madhai were special because they were from a Brahmana family. They were actually from a Brahmana family, you see. So they had something of a good birth, and because they were also there in the holy land of Mayapur, Navadvip, so they had a lot of mercy. And similarly, Putana, she went to Vrindavan. So, she could go to Vrindavan, and so she could get the mercy, you see, because she got to Vrindavan and she could go there and she could pick up Krishna. So she got so much mercy. And she wants to be Krishna's mother. It's not ordinary. And Kamsa, you see, Kamsa, his mother was actually raped. Some demon disguised himself as her husband, and he raped the woman. And that's how Kamsa was born. You see, so Kamsa had nasty qualities, but he was there in Mathura. You see, so the holy place, you see, being in that holy place, it's very powerful. Although he's a demon, but because he's in Mathura, and then also, he's hearing about Krishna so much, and he's born in the family of Krishna. You see, so he's not an ordinary demon, He's got a lot of some good, that he could be born in Krishna's family, and Devaki's his sister, and so on, So we cannot really understand these demons, although they're demons and they did a lot of atrocities. This was all drama, you see. These people are special, and that's why, like in the drama, people play the part of the demons. So these people like Kamsa and so on, they're actually devotees, but they're playing the part of demons. And they become demons for Krishna's pastimes. And so if Krishna kills them, they go back to Godhead. Krishna just doesn't just kill anyone, he just kills a few special demons, who are they're supposed to go back to Godhead.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Any other questions there? Nice to see some other people here. Some men are still here. I see. Okay. So we'll finish here, and next week we'll go on. We'll still have 2 chapters left. We have chapters 17 and 18 to finish, right? So take us, at least next week anyway. Chapter 18 is a big chapter. Anyway, you can look over what we've covered. The lectures are recorded, right? So, and you have to prepare yourself to do, are they all going to do Bhakti-Shastri exam?
Yes, Maharaj.
And do you write essay also?
Yes, OBS, yes.
Okay, good. So, all right, so everybody's on holiday there? It's a holiday in India today. It's been a long weekend.
Wow.
Today's Republic Day in India. So they had a holiday today, and they had a lot of people here in Mayapur, many people.
We love holidays, Maharaj.
Huh?
We love holidays.
You like yeah, they have a lot of holidays. I know India has a lot of holidays. Probably Pakistan also.
Hope so, Maharaj.
For Ramadan and everything, you have a big holiday.
Yes, Maharaj. These are our golden days, Maharaj.
On Fridays they don't work, do they?
We are having weekends on Saturday and Sunday. We don't work actually, but some people work in the hospital if they are working in the hospital, so they are having duties. But other students, students are all free on Saturday and Sunday.
What about Friday?
Friday it's a half day, Maharaj. Usually we work till around 12 p.m. to 12 p.m. or maybe 2 p.m. That's it.
A half a day.
Yeah.
So you have like a 4.5 day week.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, that's good. You get more time for association, more time for your bhakti.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll see you next week then. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Maharaj. As well as Bhakti Narsingh Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Go back to Vrinda ki jai.
Hare Krishna.